Inner storytelling. Whether you like it or not, you are participating in inner storytelling. You are telling yourself stories with every situation, with every observation, and the stories you unconsciously tell yourself within yourself profoundly impact how easily or not so easily, how fast or not so fast you manifest business success you desire, or anything else you desire for that matter. And therefore, today, with intention to help you to connect even more to your creative manifesting power, I want to talk about a little more about this topic, inner storytelling, and help you fine-tune your inner stories so you can change and shift your attraction point and bring more ease and flow into your creative and manifesting process. Okay? Now, if we don't know each other, my name is Lenka Lutonska. Warm welcome here. I'm a creator of business energetics, author of energetic selling and marketing, and I'm here to help you to create the success, impact, ease, flow, sense of aliveness that you were born for through the power of your energy. Okie dokie, let's get started. And the way I would like to get started today is to give you one statement, and that is, your evaluation becomes your attraction. Maybe you've heard this statement before. What do I mean by that? Is that every story you tell yourself as a result of observing something, let's say it's a situation, let's say you see something or hear something, and that first automatic reaction and self-talk associated with it, that's your inner story. That's the meaning you put upon that situation. Now that profoundly impacts your attraction points. It becomes your attraction point. Here is why. Some of those reactions, the meanings we give to the situations, observations, if you like, each of these stories will have a frequency, and the frequency, when it is mismatched to what you want to live, to what you want to manifest, then nothing good is coming out of it. Then that frequency will become your manifesting point, your manifesting frequency. So let me give you an example. Let's say you will look at your bank account and are not so pleasantly surprised. In fact, in your bank account, currently you have less or far less money than you thought you would have. Now, what might happen, the first reaction might be, oh, boo-boo, that's no good, that's lack, I'm scared now, or I'm nervous now, and I don't know what's going to happen, and what if I run out of money altogether, and it's much less money than I thought, and what it means is I've got to be more careful, and what it means is that I'm not doing really well. So the situation, the circumstance was certain number on your bank account. Everything else that followed, your reaction, how you feel about it, what you tell yourself about it, is your inner story, is your observation, is the meaning you put on this situation or circumstance. That's your evaluation, and this evaluation itself becomes your attraction point. This evaluation itself will have a certain frequency, and if it's the frequency of, oh sugar, this is no good, I'm doing worse than I thought I would, things are going to hell, I've got to be careful. If that has got low frequency, then that becomes your attraction point. That will help you to notice and attract more and more of this. And that we don't want that, do we? So it's in your best interest to be a lot more conscious about the stories you tell yourself and consciously shift them. Now, how do we go about it? Well, first and foremost, we can use an incredibly powerful guidance system that has been given to us and that is our emotional guidance system, our emotions. So then, when you go through the day, anytime you notice that you don't feel good, or you have got that reaction to something, someone says something, you look at something, the bank account, or you evaluate something, and you suddenly don't feel good, you feel lower vibration, it tells you that you are telling yourself story that is a lie. You're telling yourself story that is not supporting you in creating and manifesting the business success and everything that you desire, that you want. So every time you have that reaction to something and it doesn't feel good, it's simply a signal for from your higher self telling you something like, pay attention, pay attention. You're buying into some lie. You're telling yourself something that is not true and it's not going to serve you. That's all that is. So please do not reject negative emotions. They have got very powerful use. Use them. Use those negative emotions to take them as a phone call from your higher self. Pay attention. Change the story, because the story you're telling yourself is not good for you. And then that creates that awareness that is so much needed, so you can now consciously rewrite the story. You can consciously change the meaning to that situation and consciously shift your attraction point just like that. So let's go through a few more examples. So let's say you will put something out there, some product of yours, service of yours, and you're marketing and selling it, and you notice that it doesn't have reaction you wanted, it's not selling out. And you notice that doesn't feel good. You're already telling yourself some story. Okay, I feel nervous, I feel disappointment, I feel maybe fear. All of these feelings that you feel inside of your body, they don't mean anything. They're the vibration, that their energy that they're telling you is the phone call from your higher self telling you, hold on, pay attention, change your story. So you're going to ask yourself, what am I telling myself about this, about the fact that there are crickets, not people are not reacting, or not as many people as I wanted are purchasing, investing in my offer. So what's the story I'm telling myself about it? Well, I'm telling myself that it's not going well. I'm telling myself that I must be doing something wrong. I'm telling myself maybe that was a bad idea. I'm telling myself that maybe I'm not ready for that success. I'm telling myself that maybe something is blocking me. I'm telling myself that this is going to be failure. Any of these stories, when you just bring into your surface, with this awareness, just awareness, because you're listening to that phone call from your higher self, you're listening to that negative emotion, that's what's behind it. That's behind the negative emotion that comes with that first reaction, is that inner story that is not serving you, is that inner story that is a lie. So you want to detect the lie. You want to become aware, what is it that I'm telling myself that is not serving me? And then acknowledge it for what it is. It's a lie, it's an energy, it's one of million different perspectives. So then what we do is we're going to rewrite the story. We're going to change the meaning. What you could do is, you know what? I decide that I know this is just an energy. I know this is not full truth. So I'm going to breathe it out, take a few deep breaths, 3, 4, 5, and breathe it out. Turn these stories into potentiality again, into pure energy. And then you're going to reach out for a different story, different perspective, if you like, on the same situation. So how do we do that? I find the easiest way is to connect with our soul, or if you like, with that version of ourselves that knows better, that version of ourselves, that higher self, if you like, that already lives the success, love, fulfillment, abundance that you desire. And you speak to her, you speak to that identity and ask her, can you offer me a new perspective on this? What is really happening here? Because your higher self will perceive this situation differently. It will see it in a light, in a true, to what your little human sometimes does, or maybe often does. So it may reassure you. It may tell you, you know what, you're measuring too early. You know, it's not that it's not happening, it's happening, but you've got to let it evolve. There's stuff happening beyond your human senses. It's not that you're failing or it was a wrong idea. It was fantastic idea. It comes from the soul, and it's still fantastic idea that wants to live through you. So let it offer you more awareness of what you can choose or change or become, so you can become the most powerful creator. Awareness will come your way. I find this is the easiest way how we can reach out for those new stories that we want to tell ourselves. And then you just change the story accordingly. So, or you can do it even right away. On my way to be able to manifest impact millions and create millions on repeat, I've become so much better in telling myself stories that support the growth and impact and receiving I wanted to create. So when I caught myself that I'm telling myself a story that doesn't feel good, then I've said, okay, that's not all truth. That's just energy. It's a phone call from higher mind. What is the new story I could tell myself? Well, what is the higher truth, if you like? Well, it's evolving beautifully. Well, I let it evolve in a way it wants. Well, I don't know all the house. I shouldn't know all the house. Well, I'm opening myself to ideas if I'm supposed to be co-creator in some different way. I know the inner guidance will guide me. I know it's happening. How exciting it is, it's happening. It doesn't have to happen in a way I always want, consciously want. I let it happen in a perfect divine way, etc., etc., etc. So just with that shift in storytelling, you start feeling different. You are immediately shifting your attraction point from which you manifest what's to come. One more example, just so it sinks in. So let's say that a client you're talking on the Zoom or on the call, the prospective client of yours, it feels good, they're interested in your work, and at the end of the day, they will say, sorry, no, or not for now. And again, you may feel disappointed. You may feel, oh, am I doing something wrong? You will start telling yourself the story about it, and it doesn't feel good. So when you catch yourself, no harm, it's just a phone call from your higher self. You bring it into your awareness, and you ask yourself, right, what is the story I've been telling myself? Was that lie that causes this negative emotion? Fine. Now, how can I change that story? Instead of, oh, I'm not good at selling still, maybe I'll change it to, well, cannot lose the right client, and this no is going to give me more feedback. This no is creating space for more. This no doesn't mean not forever. So I haven't lost something. No way I lost something. I gained something. What is it that I could gain? What is it that I love about this situation? What could it give me? So you'll start consciously changing this story until you feel, and it can be a matter of seconds if you allow it, or minutes if you allow it. So your attraction points will shift once again to where it needs to be, so you have a clear channel of that co-creation, clear channel of manifesting. So what you do with this is neurologically you're working with your so-called reticular activating system. Now, you might know that term or you might not. Reticular activating system is within your brain stems, and it's a mixture of neurons that are responsible for many, many things. But what is relevant here, your reticular activating system, or RAS, will help you notice what is relevant to you and therefore set your attraction point. So if you like, your reticular activating system is your inner observer and inner creator. So every single time you catch yourself that you're telling yourself stories that don't support you, every time you are shifting, rewriting that story and shifting that attraction point, you're feeding your reticular activating system with more information based on which it will help you to notice more and more of it. So, like for instance, In past, maybe you decided you're going to buy a red car, and suddenly you started to see those red cars everywhere. Or you learned some new word, meaning of the new word, and you hear it everywhere because it's in your reticular system. It's got this as a powerful information that will help you to attract and to notice everything that fits that information. So that if your reticular activating system has got all these negative stories, these illusions that are not true, if you like, limiting beliefs that is your default system, then you will come across this situation, that situation, that situation, and you will notice about that situation that which is relevant to what is inside of your reticular activating system, relevant to that story. So it's like a circle of manifestation. So what you're doing here, when you are working with your inner storytelling consciously and pausing every time you make some evaluation, some inner story about the situation that doesn't feel good, that doesn't serve you, and you shift it, then you are retraining your reticular activating system to notice in the future anything that fits the new story. So you shifting your attraction point. So it's very, very powerful, but you've got to have patience with it. I would love to tell you that in a single day, you will completely shift how you manifest. And yes, you will shift your attraction point, but not necessarily permanently. Because every time you do something like this, you pause with your negative storytelling, limiting storytelling, and you rewrite that story, you feel better, you shift your attraction point. What you're doing is you are stepping outside of what is normal for your current sense of self-identity, for your human. So you're stepping out of, if you like, comfort zone. So you step out of it. But it doesn't mean the comfort zone has shifted altogether. No, you've got to come back to it, or use another situation and use another situation and use another situation until that comfort zone shifts, expands with you, until you become it. So then the storytelling, inner storytelling that is super aligned with your truth, with who you truly are, with manifesting millions, if you like, becomes near automatic. So you want to have a little patience with yourself. You don't want to create negative stories about the fact that you need to do it again and again. You don't want to do that. You want to be patient with yourself and do it again and again and again to essentially retrain your reticular activating system to work in harmony with who you're truly meant to be, with that identity of yours that is wants to live through you. Hopefully that makes sense. And finally, I'll give you one more example where you want to be mega aware not to put negatives in a storytelling, where not to engage in it, because it's ever so common. And that is when you become aware of your inner limitations that you were not aware before. In other words, your blind spots. Clients, when they are first stepping into my programs, their awareness goes like, whoa. Suddenly they become aware of lots of patterns and that they've been making, beliefs, if you like, that are totally not in alignment with who they're meant to be, with manifesting their business and life of their dreams. And sometimes it can be hallelujah of a big list. And there's a tendency, I always prepare and warn my clients about this, that when you become aware of all of those blind spots, of all of that inner limitations that have been slowing you down or been between you and that which you meant to be, you really want to be aware of the storytelling you tell yourself, the meaning you put on it, because natural human tendency is bloody hell. I know this, I'm not good at this, I've got this pattern that is not supporting me, this belief that is not supporting me, this, I'm screwed. I'm not ready yet. I've got to really work on all of this in order for me to be able to manifest the life I want. But you see, your soul and higher self doesn't have a conditions. It merely offers you a path to full embodiment, to recognize yourself for who you truly are. And when you are bringing that awareness up, that, okay, this didn't serve me, this doesn't serve me, this didn't serve me, that's many steps closer to being able to embody your full self than before. So you need to change the story. When you become aware of your blind spots and limitations, you want to change the story from, oh sugar, I've got a lot of work to do and I'm not ready yet, to blimey, a million steps closer to manifesting my dreams. And it's happening even more powerfully now because I'm moved in that phase of embodiment. I'm no longer unconscious about it. I'm now conscious. I have more choice. I just embodied my divine soul blueprint more fully. So because I'm aware, I'm going to manifest more easily. And because, of course, I'm aware, I can do something about it. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? So all that is to say, please pay attention to your inner storytelling. You're telling yourself story, I'm telling myself story, we're telling ourselves stories all the time, with every situation, every observation, every circumstance. And each of those stories is the opportunity to check where is our attraction point, because those stories turn into our attraction points. Those evaluations turn into our attraction. Those meanings we put upon those situations will turn into attraction point. So let's start shifting them, rewriting those stories more powerfully, shall we? And with that, I'll say goodbye just for now. Love having you here. I will love hearing from you in the comments below what you are taking out of this, if there is something you're going to perhaps change or practice. Thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. New paradigm is here, paradigm of energetic entrepreneurship, when you sink deep into your energy and heart and let the limitless intelligence dwelling within you guide your every energetic selling marketing book will profoundly help you with this. Women reported really starting to run a business and sell from completely different space and energy, releasing their creativity, releasing their love for selling and their clients, and reporting plenty of ahas, changes, and results. So I would love you to experience that too.